哈喽，大家好，我是黑河，感谢各位关注。今天我们来详细聊聊贝蒂外星绑架事件以及真实催眠录音内容，你准备好了吗？1961年9月19日这一天 ，Barney Hill 和他的妻子 Betty Hill 在从美国和加拿大交界的尼加拉瀑布开车返美国家的途中，贝蒂透过车窗看到月亮方向的附近有一个奇怪的亮光。最一开始他觉得只是比较亮的星星，但是后来这个星星越来越靠近他们，而且这个光点开始做不规则运动。因此，她叫丈夫停了车，并且拿出白天游玩瀑布时带上的望远镜，叫丈夫开始观察这个特殊光点。巴尼一开始以为是一架民航客机，但他刚说完，他就改变想法了，因为这个光点在空中来回跳动，并且在他们车前阻挡着停了下来。这时，他们才发现到，这个光点是一个像大煎饼一样的飞船，两侧有红灯，且飞船中间有明显的窗户。透过窗户可以明显的看到，似乎有8到11个人影排列站立，穿着闪亮黑色的制服。他们下意识的驱车离开了现场。在过程中，他们听到了2段明显的嗡嗡声，接着在第2段嗡嗡声过了一段时间之后，他们恢复意识，但是他们发现他们的车子多开了56公里，而且远离既定返回家的路线。但由于是深夜，他们已游玩了一天，相当疲劳，因此他们就继续开回到了家。回到家中之后，他们惊讶地发现比原定计划多花了2小时的时间才返回家中。在之后的几天，夫妇开始做了关于不明飞行物的噩梦。在梦里面，他们似乎被当天飞碟里的黑色制服人引抓进了飞行器中，做了许多生理检查。贝蒂夫妇重复梦到这个梦，并且感到害怕，因此他将梦的细节记录下来，并且寄信给国家大气现象调查委员会 NICAP。该组织收到信之后，前往采访了贝蒂夫妇6个小时，发现此时巴尼已有着强烈的心理障碍，并且不愿意回忆当天发生的事情。该机构强烈建议他们与波士顿著名的精神病学医师班杰明·塞门进行治疗。该医师是当时美国收费最高昂的精神医师，擅长利用催眠治疗法治疗精神障碍。这次的治疗费用也由 NICAP 进行全额支付。以下是塞门医生治疗时的催眠录音片段。
You go deeper and deeper, deeper asleep, fully relaxed, all muscles are relaxed. You will remember everything, and you will tell me everything.
Yes. I think I will stop. And Betty said, "Look, there's a star moving." But I said, "Betty, that's a satellite." And then I pulled over to the side of the road, and Betty jumped out her side, on her side, with the binoculars, and I see that this is not a satellite. It's an airplane. You can see the rows of windows. She said, "Barney, that is not a plane. It is still following us." And I look and I see it is still out there. I believe Betty is trying to make me think this is a flying saucer. This is ridiculous.
How far away was it?
It was about 1,000 feet, I guess. I want to wake up.
You're not going to wake up. You're in deep sleep. You're comfortable, relaxed. Go on.
It's right over my right. God, I'm scared. I got to get my gun. Oh! I got to get my gun!
All right. All right. That's all.
I got to get my gun!
Go to sleep, Steve. You forget now.
Did I get back in the car? There it is up there. Oh, God
All right.
damn it!
Calm down. Calm. It's not going to hurt you. Go back a little bit now. You say it's there. Did you say it was 1,000 feet away?
It doesn't look that far. It's very big. I can see it tilted toward me.
Tilted? What does it look like now? What do you say?
Looks like a big pancake with windows and rows of windows and lights.
Rows of windows like a commercial plane?
They're not like a commercial plane because they curve around to the sides. I can see it in his face. His lips aren't moving.
Yes, go on. All right.
I'll dig in my head.
All right.
Pull the binoculars away. God, give me strength.
All right.
If there's my God, give me strength. I gotta get away.
But you said they were friendly. You said they were friendly.
Everyone was standing there looking at me, but everybody moved. I open my eyes. I see Betty is coming down the road. I had no reason to fear.
I don't know where we are. And I I'm not really too afraid.
Why are you crying if you're not afraid?
I wasn't afraid. I was afraid when I saw the men in the road.
Men in the road?
I've never been so afraid in my life.
Tell me about the men in the road. It's all right now. You're safe here.
I wasn't too afraid when I saw them. They separated. They came up in two groups.
He did what?
He's trying to start the car and it won't start. He said, don't be afraid. You don't have any reason to be afraid. You'll be on your way back home in no time.
You mean he was walking in his sleep?
Yeah, he was just like sleepwalking.
These men spoke good English?
Only one spoke. He had an accent, foreign accent. There's a room. They start to take me in the room. I come in the room with this man who speaks English and me. Another man comes in. I haven't seen him before. I think he's a doctor. He tells me to take off my dress. Sort of in the middle of the room is a table. He brings over this. They're like needles. There's a whole cluster of needles. And each needle has a wire running from it. I asked him what he's going to do with it. And he said, just a simple step to won't hurt me. And he said he just wants to put it in my navel. And I'm crying and I tell him it's hurting, it's hurting, it's hurting. And then the leader, he goes over and he puts his hand, runs his hand in front of my eyes. And he says, I'll be all right. I won't feel it. And all the pain goes away. I asked the leader, I said, why did they stick the needle in my navel? And he said it was a pregnancy test. Examiner he helped me get up off the table, and I put my dress on. I can go back to the car. And he said, Barney isn't ready yet. And so then I began to get worried. And I asked him why it was taking so long with Barney. And he said, well, they were doing a few more tests with him. But he'd be right along in a minute. And now I wasn't afraid at all. I started talking with the leader. And I said to him, what I needed was some proof. So he laughed. And he said, well, what kind of proof? What would I like? And I said, well, if he could give me something to take back with me, then people would believe it. And so he told me to look around, and maybe I could find something. And there wasn't much around, but on the cabinet, there was a book. I put my hand on the book, and I said, could I have this? And the leader laughed. And he asked me if I thought I could read it. I could have the book if I wanted it. Did something in the metal of the wall. There was an opening. He pulled down a map. He asked me, had I ever seen a map like this before? The heavy lines were trade routes. The other line, the solid line, were places they went occasionally. The broken lines were expeditions. So I asked him, where was his home port? He said, where are you on this map? I laughed and I said, I don't know. So he said, well then, if you don't know where you are, there wouldn't be any point of my telling you where I am. And I felt very stupid because I didn't know where the Earth was on the map. Will you come back? And he says, I don't know. It's not my decision to make. He said, don't worry. If we decide to come back, we'll be able to find you all right. And I said, Barney's coming. He said, yes, you can go back to the car now. I got the book, all ready to go down the ramp. But some of the other men are talking. The leader comes over and takes my book. I said, you promised me I could have the book. He said, but the others object. They don't want you to have it. And I said, but this is my proof. if you take the book away from me, I'll have no proof that this has happened. And he said, they don't want you to know it's happened. They want you to forget all about it. I won't forget about it.
在整起事件中，有几个事实难以忽略。催眠录音中两人对事件的描述，在时间、细节、情绪上高度一致。星图的绘制发生在星系资料尚未公开的时期，却与后来确认的星系结构吻合。他们的背景务实，生活稳定，没有明显的造假动机。然而，我们也必须承认，催眠本身并非完美的记忆提取工具。科学界早已指出，在特定语言引导下，人类可能产生虚假记忆。或许我们该问的，从来不是这是不是真的发生过，而是如果这是真的，我们准备好接受了吗？黑盒持续解锁隐藏的讯号与真相。记得订阅，我们下次见。